Okay guys, today's activity is going to be TinkerCad. Go into your search engines and type in TinkerCad, just like that, and click in. And now what you guys are going to do is set up a an account, right? Use your email, whatever email you guys want to use, and you guys eventually are going to get to this point right here, right? I'm going to try to move over. Let me see if I can move over the screen. But anyway, let me minimize the screen a little bit. Okay. The problem that I'm having is I have to keep the window. Let's see here. All right. Now, when you guys are in TinkerCad, make sure you guys are right. All right, so you guys are going to click on create a new design. But you see over here on this side, you guys have 3D design. You guys are going to have circuits, right? We want to go down to circuits. Click on circuits. You want to create a new design. And now we have a new design. Okay. Now you guys are going to notice that on the right side, over here on this side, right, we have all these components, right, that we're going to be using to build our very first circuit. And the very first circuit I want you guys to build is an LED light and turn it on with a switch. So you guys have here basic components, and you guys can click over here and have all components, right, which gives you more. But we're going to keep the basic components. And I want you guys to click on the LED light and drag it out, okay? And then also you guys can change the color here if you guys want to. I'm going to make mine yellow, right? And you guys can call this LED1. And then pretty much there you go. Now we're also going to drag your resistor over, right? Put it right underneath here somewhere like that. And we're going to, this resistance right here is 1K ohms, so it's 1,000 ohms. I'm going to keep that at 1,000 ohms. That's a good value. What happens is the LED lights only work off of 1.2 volts, something like that. So if you guys put in more than 1.2 volts, you'll end up blowing it up. And I'll show you guys what that looks like a little bit later. And that goes standard with all the LED lights. So you have to have a resistor as a current limiter to make sure that you do not explode your LED lights. So the next thing I want you guys to do is I want you guys to pull over this slide switch. Bring over the slide switch, and you notice that the slide switch has 3 pins on it. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and I'm going to put this W1 for switch number 1. And of course, one more thing that we are going to need is a 9-volt battery. We'll slide this out. Notice it's a big battery. And we're going to now, over here on the left-hand side, I'm going to move this over. You guys can work it like this, which I'll just set it up this way because this is the way it comes out of the menu. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to build our very first circuit. So, let's take, first of all, you guys have to notice that the LED light has a shorter, one little pin that's straight, and then the other pin that's a little, what can I say, bent, okay? And what I want you guys to do is I want you to click on, when you see this little box, that means if you guys click on it and you go up with your mouse, click again, it's going to turn, click again and go up and make the connection once you see that red box again. Click on top of the resistor and then connect it to one side of your resistor. Then of course you're going to have another pin open. Click on that. Click, bring it over to the outside pin. Okay, one of the connections has to be the outside pin, and the other connection is going to be to the center pin. How this slide switch works is you're making either connection between these 2 points here or these 2 points here. Okay, the inner and the outside on the right side. So you always want to make your main connection to the center. Bring it down, and then of course over to the right and connect it to the battery. Now, oh, it's a green LED. Let me make it yellow. Okay, so over to the right. Over here, you guys are going to see Start Simulator. I want you guys to click on Start Simulator. Okay, right there. Make sure I'm trying to fit everything in the window. And now, what's going to happen is I'm going to click on the switch, and it turns it on. But look, the LED light did not turn on. Now, why didn't it turn on? Well, because LED stands for light emitting diode. That means it's a one-way check valve for electricity. Okay, so the electricity can only flow in a certain direction with an LED light and in any diode, and it has to be polarized correctly. In other words, the positive and the negatives have to be properly connected. So to show that, I'm going to stop the simulator so we can modify the circuit. Okay, and I'm going to click on that and just hit delete. Click on this one, hit delete. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this wire and I'm going to run it to the other pin right back here. It's going to look a little bit like spaghetti, but I want you guys to basically know that I'm just changing the polarity. And now the resistor is going to go on the front pin. And now to simplify it all, since we have all this wires crisscross all over the place, I'm going to make this, the ground wire, I'm going to make it black. So here we can change the color of the wire. All right, let's make it black for ground. And then over here again, we're going to make it black. And so now we're going to make this one red. All right, so now we have a much better idea. Black and red. Power is red. Ground is black. And now let's start the simulator again and see now if your light works. All right, and there you go. Oh, let me move this out of the way. Okay, so there it is. That's switch number 1. I don't know why it wants to do that. I want to move this out of the way. So you turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off. Okay, and that's the very first circuit that you guys are going to draw and then also email it to me. Now the next circuit, what we're going to do is we're going to stop the simulator. We're going to take out this switch. And we're going to add something called a potentiometer. Now, again, here we have 3 pins. And obviously now you guys do know that we're going to make the connection from the center wire, the center pin, okay, to one of the sides of this LED light. Okay. And again, this is going to be red for power. So let's change that to red. Okay. And then this one here, we're going to make this one black. Okay. For ground. Oh, actually, sorry, I take that back. Let's do that red. My mistake. Okay, because we're controlling the power side. All right, so now, what is the difference between the switch and this potentiometer? Now, what is the value of this potentiometer? So we can click on it, and we're going to see right here, resistance is 250 k ohms. That is really a lot of, how can I say, resistance. So the LED light is not going to light up too bright. So let's see what happens when we turn it on, right, with a lot of resistance. So let's zoom out of it, and let's start the simulator. Now, let's see what happens when we turn the potentiometer. You can see that really what happens is at this point, we have 250,000 ohms between the center pin and this outside pin. Okay, and if we were on this side would have no ohms, and then the other side would have, the ohms. But anyway, you guys will figure that out when we hook up the meter to it. So what's happening here is I have too much resistance, and we really don't see the LED light on. And so as I minimize the resistance, and there's less and less resistance, as I turn this knob, you notice that it starts to light up. Okay, once we start going here, there we go. All right, and let's see, I think, let's try, nope. There you go. All right, so let's do this. Oh, I see why. The reason why we did not pop this LED light is because we have a current limiting resistor right here. Because right now there's no resistance across these two pins. So the full contact, right, all the current that's coming from this pin, the output of this battery is actually going to the LED light. But since we have this resistor, it's not allowing the bulb to blow up. And I'm going to show you guys right now what happens when we take that limited resistor out. So we're going to stop the simulator. We're going to delete this resistor. And let's make the connection now directly. Bring it across. We'll bring it down. And there you go. So now we're going to start the simulator again. And then we have the exploding LED light. Now when we back off of it, you can see, right, it's slowly starting to turn on. Right there is too much, okay? Because it goes from too much resistance to hardly any resistance, right? Because 250,000 is just way too much. So that means this whole potentiometer is broken down by 250 points. So let's minimize this potentiometer, and let's make it, let's see what happens when we put 10,000. All right, so let's stop the simulator and make sure that this worked. Okay, stop the simulator, click on it, 10,000 ohms. Let's start the simulator again, and now look, let's see. You can see now that we're controlling the brightness. But when we go too little or we go all the way to the end, we're making contact from this pin to this pin, okay? Because from here all the way to here is 10,000 ohms, right? But when I come all the way straight, you got to pretend that the center of this wire is connected to this part of the knob. So once we go here, we bypass all the resistance, and then look what happens to the LED light, right? At this point right here, you might get a caution that there's too much current, and you get that little question mark that comes up right there, that information right there. Current through the LED light is 33.7 milliamps, or recommended maximum is 20 milliamps. The usable lifetime of the LED light may be reduced. So what happens is when we have too little resistance there and it's taking too much current, the LED light lights up a lot brighter than it should, and it just minimizes its life. So this is the first two circuits that I want you guys to draw, and then I want you guys to send it in to me, all right, through a picture or through an email. Take a picture with your phone and then send that in to me. And then from that point on, I want you guys to also use, okay, and discover, make your own circuit, use different batteries, different resistant values, different colors, and then get creative. You know, bring that slide switch and connect one LED light from one side, okay? All right, for example, we'll slide this over here, okay? And then hook up the wire to the center, and then have one side connected to one LED light, and then have the other side connected to another LED light. So try to impress me, have some fun, build some circuits, and then also replace this LED light with a motor. So let's take this out, and let's bring out a motor.